It's nice to see everybody on this sort of interim meeting. Don't forget that next Sunday we'll have another program, and Ed will talk about that. But for this morning, great turnout. I really appreciate everybody coming out to the men's club this morning. I see faces that we haven't seen in a while, which is also really nice. If you are, what's that? If you are a new member or you're visiting for the first time, tell me who you are. Yeah, we've got a visitor.
I don't want time. So, but I'm enjoying my breakfast, and I'm nice to have an opportunity to meet everybody here. So, thank you for including me.
You're very welcome.
Hi, I'm Rich Soltoff. I'm retired a week and a half, I'm a guest of Terry Friedman, and I'm looking forward to meeting all you guys and having a nice breakfast.
Welcome.
Good catch. All right, I'm Norm Sohm, and I've been floating around this community for quite a few years, and it's a pleasure to be here. And the reason I'm here is Marty convinced me that there were women in this club, and I'm looking around and
young women.
Next door.
Oh, okay. Well, it's nice to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, if you're here for all of the women, you're probably going to be a little bit disappointed. But wait, Ed, we've got. I haven't seen dancing girls here yet. Good morning, Alan. Tell everybody who you are.
I'm Alan Brenner. I'm retired about a year and a half, and I'm very glad that I'm here. And like I say, nice to meet many people. I've lived in Cherry Hill for 48 years, and there are many people I have not met. So this is a...
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in the Bronx, New York. Right off, not far from the Grand Concourse, right by Yankee Stadium. And I went to school, dental school in Temple, went in the service, came out of the service. A friend of mine told me there was a dental practice for sale in Mount Laurel. I moved down here 48 years ago. So I'm glad to be part of this organization and meet everybody. Thank you.
Wow, 48 years and you haven't met everybody yet? That's amazing. Oh, your wife has. Well, that's why you have a wife. That's her job, to do all of the social introductions. Okay. Do we have someone here from the Esther Robb Holocaust Museum and Goodwin Education Center? Yes, we do. Fabulous. Because the next thing we're going to do is present you with a very big check. Would you like to come on up? Come up, tell everybody who you are.
I'm Michael Bass. I'm the steering committee chair for the Rob Goodwin Center. And I just became the chairperson this year. Been working with them for about 15 years. Helen Kirschbaum is our director. And you folks have been terrific supporters of the center over many, many years. And a lot of our hard work in combating anti-Semitism, bias, bigotry, all this stuff. It's gotten harder over the years. This year and last year have been particularly hard. But with your help and everybody else's help, we're trying to make headway. But thank you very much for your support. Very much appreciate it.
Absolutely. Michael, thank you. Here, come sort of stand in the middle in front of the camera. For $1,000 that we raised during the law enforcement breakfast. And we do that every year, or every other year, depending if COVID's happening or not. But we just wanted to thank you for everything that you do for the community.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay. Let's see. Ed, Silver, would you like to come and tell us what we'll be doing next week?
So, my name's Ed Silver, and I'm not retired. A number of years ago, before COVID, what do Jews do on Christmas? We go to Chinese and a movie, right? Well, a number of years ago, the Men's Club decided to do something, so we've gone every year for a Christmas luncheon, and we call it Coping with Christmas. We're getting back to that after the COVID has kind of subsided a little bit. So Sunday, Christmas Day, we're meeting at Royal Buffet at 12:30. There's a room reserved for us. If you come into the building, go to your right. We have a room reserved. Emails are going out, but since we have some guests and new members that probably don't get our emails yet, just show up. 12:30, bring as many guests as you want. We usually have a very good time, and we're hopeful that you'll join us. How many of you have gone to Coping with Christmas before? Okay. Any reaction to, what was your thought about our luncheons? You were there.
Always a lot of fun.
Okay.
And especially when you can get your food on time.
I said, well, we're hopeful you'll join us. It's Sunday, Christmas Day, 12:30, Royal Buffet. It's on Route 73 in West Berlin. There's going to be another email going out. It'll go back to Abe, who was also instrumental in getting this thing organized.
And it's really easy. You pay when you come in. So there's no, you pay, you don't have to worry about bills. You pay when you come in, and then you can go to the room, and then you pay whatever you want. They have a party, they have food. Good time. I was there last this week, I have free and then I think it's $2 if you want, but water is free. Yeah, 14, and the food is $14.49 is what it costs, so it's relatively cheap, the price is
And you get to see everybody and be together Christmas if you've got nothing else going on. Bring wives, girlfriends, best friends, your girlfriend's best friend, your wife's girlfriend, whoever you can drag with you, please. I think we have a room for 60. Is that 60 people? So yeah, don't worry about bringing somebody with you. It is a buffet, right? Yes. So as much as you can tolerate. Bob, do you want to come and talk about the food pantry?
Good morning, gentlemen. I want to get a little serious here. We support the the Jewish Family and Children's Services food pantry, both with donations and we have volunteers. This past week we were volunteering and we saw tremendous empty spaces. This pantry feeds approximately 67 families a week. So what I propose that we do, I'd like to have us do a donation to the food pantry, and the way it would work is the club will match whatever you want to donate up to $1,000. And trust me, they need the money, they need the items. They have no personal items like toothpaste. They're running out of toilet paper. They usually have overflows of tomatoes, canned tomatoes. They have none. So whatever you guys can do would be greatly appreciated, and like I said, the club will match up to $1,000, and we're hoping to at least make some type of significant donation Yes, Ed?
Every email that goes out, we also ask people to bring food here. It's not the same as a cash donation. We have no food here today, so hopefully in future meetings, we'll all bring some food so we can bring it downstairs to the center.
Yes, Ed?
Can we give the money to Stan today if we want to do that?
Absolutely. If you, Stan, if you could just hold up your hand. Stan is our treasurer. So however much you wish to give is appreciated, and Stan will collect the money and we'll do a match. Does anybody have any questions? Yes.
Are you going to send an email out with that? Because I'm going to forget that when I walk out the door.
I will remind Randy to send out an email, and you can actually go on our website and you can make a donation on our website, and you can indicate what it's for, and we will capture that and match that. So whatever we can do. Yes?
The name of the organization?
It's the Jewish Family and Children's Services. You know, it's
I
the
believe it's the Betsy Fisher,
Food-
Betsy Fisher.
Fisher Food Pantry. JFCS, and just mark on the in the memo on your thing, just put food pantry. They'll know what it is. Because I can't remember the name all the time either. Yes? Yes, Abe?
Volunteers, we could use volunteers too.
We could also use volunteers. We have 2 teams that show up every other Thursday that we change off. Every other Wednesday. I'm sorry, it used to be Thursday, now it's Wednesday. Yeah, don't ask me what I had for breakfast, because I haven't had breakfast yet, but I couldn't remember anyway. It's about 2 to 3 hours of time, and what we do is we make up food sets. That's how we know that we're running out of food, because we're making up food sets, and the list of stuff that we would normally put in, we would normally fill roughly 4 shopping bags per set. And each set is a delivery to a household. And like I say, they're doing approximately 67 a week. And we make up, when we go there, we make up 10, 12 at a time, and they're out the door by the time we're ready to leave.
Where do you do this? Where?
If you're familiar with Kings Highway, where East Miami Avenue is, that is where the new food pantry is.
It's on the corner.
It's on the corner.
Miami. The 6, number 6 Miami Ave.
Yeah.
Cherry.
Yeah, the food pantry itself is located in a small building toward the back. They call it the carriage house. Inside are offices for the JFCS. They do a lot of counseling there. I mean, JFCS has a number of programs that they run, and they have several locations in the Cherry Hill area. Any other questions? Well, thank you very much for your time, gentlemen.
Yeah, no, thank you. Just a couple more quick ones before we get to breakfast. Ron Ettinger, right up front.
Okay, so this idea has been floated, and I'm bringing it up today to get feedback. Every meeting we get up and we talk about all the opportunities that we have to volunteer. So here's the idea that over the course of the year, when you volunteer for an activity, you get points. Okay, something to be, let's say you go work in the food pantry, you help with the sukkah. At the end of the year, the members who have the most points, a donation would be made in their honor to a local charity to be determined. So it helps us in terms of what we do. It also gets you recognition for the contribution that you're making to the community. So the idea has been floated up. I'd like some feedback. Is this something that make sense for us? Would you support?
And Ron has very generously volunteered to be the person who tracks those points, which is
I'm not eligible. I'm not eligible to.
which is the biggest volunteer opportunity.
I get points for that, but doesn't count.
Yes. Question?
He gets points for that.
Yes.
You said a charity to be determined. Is
Well-
it at the choice of the member?
Yep, if you have the most points, you get to direct.
Probably from a list of Jewish organizations. That's still in the, you know.
The Al
Right, but
Finkelstein
that's
Fund is not part of the...
No, I was thinking the National Multiple Sclerosis Society.
Yeah,
That's
I mean-
the organization I did the bike ride.
Absolutely. I mean, yes, most of our philanthropy is geared toward the Jewish community, but, you know, if you have the most points, I mean, I would strongly support, you know, whatever 501c3 that you choose. That, I think that
Ed, you had a question?
anybody who's volunteering that much deserves it.
Anybody else? Any ideas? What do you think?
Sounds good, let's do it.
Yeah? Perfect. Get involved. The whole point of being here is, you know, just like was pointed out, you're here, even if you lived in Cherry Hill for 48 years or in the area, you don't know everybody yet. So get involved, come volunteer. If you're putting up a sukkah with somebody that you haven't, you know, had time with yet, you get to talk for a couple of hours while you're screwing a sukkah together. So it's very nice. However you'd like to take that. I also want to point out that we have some books available. Please, if there's something there that you see that you like, please take it. Next time, please also remember, if you've got some extra books in your house that you're done reading, please bring them. Anything that's left over, I believe, goes down to the library.
Cherry Hill Library.
Oh, Cherry Hill Library. Okay, also a very nice place to donate books. And I'd like to go to breakfast, and then after everybody has food, we'll do something a little bit different, and we'll talk about our mission, and at each table we'll have a discussion and maybe a report.
What's with the signs on the table?
The signs on the table. Do you want to come and talk about the signs?
No, these board signs.
Oh, the board signs, I'm sorry. In order to make sure that everybody feels welcome and has the opportunity to meet the people who are on our board, I put out some signs this morning. I'll go around and collect them, and we'll do this at every meeting. But I want to make sure that our board members are spread around and they act more like electrons and spread out around the room, and that they're not all concentrated at one table, because everybody needs to know who you are. So hopefully there are at least 2 board members at every table. And if there aren't, I will come and sit at your table and hopefully make up for that. Make sense? Good. Only one? Well, no, I'm sitting there for the moment, but I'll float if you need me. Ed?
Just while we're at it, I think we're getting to the end of the year. January, February, we're going to have a nominating committee, which I will head up as the past president. And if you'd like to be a board member, there'll be some emails coming out, but you can let me know today if you're interested in being on the board. We have 20 members on the board, so we have a nice board. Usually when we get together, we have 15 or 16 of us that end up being there either on Zoom or live, or we did it on Zoom. But let me know today if you're interested in being on the board. We can always use a couple more, and when people get off the board, on the board, so let us know. I'm a board member at this table. Just stand up if you're a board member so people know who you are.
Look at that spread. And what I will do is, after people get food, I'll ask anybody who's on the board who has a project that they're working on if they'd like to come up and report on it, just to give you an idea of what's happening and what's going on. But before we do that, one of the new people or visitors or new members, would somebody like to lead us in the motzi before we eat? We're all going to say it together, so. Okay. You don't all have to volunteer at once. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lech min haaretz. Everybody, if you need an extra minute, please go up and start. Give everybody, give anybody who's a little less stable a chance. And then go up and please, there's food on both sides of the room. Something that I did forget, and I apologize, we had the great honor of presenting amongst many other groups Man of the Year to Nelson Melitz. That was this past week. It was a lovely ceremony. So yes, I wanted to recognize Nelson and also give him the opportunity to remind you, because he told you once, but remind you of something that the group is doing with the Joint Base.
Thank you, Phil, and thank you all for recognizing me as Man of the Year. It was really a fantastic ceremony. There had to be hundreds of people there, not for me, but for everybody else. And it was an opportunity for the Mid-Atlantic Region Federation of Jewish Men's Club to really get together and see they're very active, and we're one of the most active posts we have. Now, Phil asked me to talk about the Hanukkah party at the Joint Base McGuire Fort Dix Lakehurst. That's going to be on the 21st, Wednesday, and it's going to be 5 o'clock. You can't just go on the base. You have to be registered prior to going there unless you have a military ID. So if you want to register for that, walk up to my table. I'll give you the contact number of the rabbi who's in charge of taking the registration. Okay, it's a meal given to you. It's a kosher meal, fantastic, and a lot of ceremony. Okay, what we're going to be doing as a club is presenting a Hanukkah menorah, which is about 4 feet high, has an engraving on there saying from the Jewish War Veterans South Jersey Men's Club. And you'll have an opportunity to meet some young people in the military. And I'll digress just for a second, and I'll shut up, because I know you're eating. Okay, I've had the opportunity in my position as National Commander of the Jewish War Veterans to go to West Point, go to the Air Force Academy. I will be going to Annapolis and some other place. There is a lot of young Jewish men and women in those academies, and I've been to many bases, lots of Jewish men and women serving in our military. We as a club for many, many years have been supporting them through donations, through Hanukkah cards, through other activities. Feel confident. I am. These are intelligent young people. Our country's in good hands. Okay, one other thing I wanted to mention real fast, and I was just reminded, the Jewish War Veterans with us are sponsoring a mission to Israel, which is the 33rd mission from the Jewish War Veterans, April 20th. We're asking people that want to go, please talk to me. It's a great trip, seeing things in Israel on the 75th anniversary. I'll give you a copy of this paper. You need to register by January 9th. If you don't, you're not guaranteed that you get a space. We already have 38 people registered to go. It's one of those trips that you don't want to miss because it's, like I said, the 75th anniversary, but it's also an opportunity to see a lot of military stuff, to see a lot of civilian stuff, and there's a side trip if you want to take it to Egypt or to Petra in Jordan. I'm looking forward to it. My wife and myself have already signed up for it. It's a fantastic opportunity. It might be your last opportunity to go to Israel for a long time. Think about it that way. Great, COVID's gone, as far as I know. So it's an opportunity now before the next disease or whatever happens. Thank you all. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Nelson. And if anybody is going, I would highly, highly recommend both Egypt and Petra in Jordan. There's not much I can recommend in Jordan, but Petra was absolutely worth seeing. Okay. In between bites, if there is anyone who has a portfolio on the board who would like to report to the group, tell them a little bit about what it is that they're doing, if we're looking for volunteers, how they can help, looking for hands. Ed.
Back, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 years ago, I did a presentation on discount dental plans, discount prescriptions, and so forth, and it's that time of the year. I'll just give it to you quickly. If you want some more information, come and see me. I presume everybody, pretty much everybody here is on Medicare. You've either got a supplement or you're on Medicare Advantage, so you're pretty well covered for your drug plan and so forth and so on. But if you have a situation, which I have in my family, I have a family member, obviously my wife, who takes a drug that's not covered by Medicare. And it's a generic, and you would think it would be, you know, 10, 20 bucks. Well, it's not. I've paid as much as, for a 90-day supply, I've paid as much as a couple hundred. So there are discount drug plans out. You've seen them on TV. It's GoodRx. It's so forth and so on. There are other plans out there that are similar to GoodRx. There are also some membership plans out there for drugs, not drug insurance, but a membership plan, which is fairly new. I discovered maybe 6 months ago. So all I can say is if you have any drugs that are not covered, and they're generics, brand names, there's not too much you can do with. I mean, you can obviously go to the manufacturer and see if they'll give you some kind of a coupon and so forth. But if there's generics that are costing you more than, I'm going to say $25 on a copay, you might want to take a look at these. Come and see me, talk to me. I'll tell you what to do, or you can send me an email, eestein43@gmail. But anyway, it's better just to come and talk to me for a minute. And the other is the discount dental plans. If you don't have a dental plan, there are discount cards out there that you can buy from some of the major insurance companies, Cigna, Aetna, so forth, New Jersey Blue Cross. You can pay anywhere from, I'm going to say, $60 to $150 for a card to cover you and your family. And when you go to the dentist, assuming he accepts whoever you bought, Aetna, Cigna, whatever it is, you can hand him the card and you will get their negotiated rates rather than his retail rates. And I know a lot of the dentists, I hope I'm not impinging on anybody's dental business. I know we have some dentists here, hopefully you're retired, but anyway. Anyway, you will get the same rates that the people who have dental insurance through their employer and so forth and so on. I know a lot of the dentists are doing subscription plans now. You pay them a couple $100, you get a couple visits a year and so forth. You get a 10 or 20% discount on crowns and implants and so forth. These rates are a lot better than that, and if that's the case, come and see me. I'll tell you where to look.
I just want to say that I participate in a plan like you talk about it, and my dentist, I'm saving 40% off the street prices.
Using that plan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you do is you ask your dentist which plan they recommend or accept, and then that's the one you sign up. And it's about $150 for a couple.
Yeah, it depends on the plan. I mean, the cheapest I've seen is Horizon has a plan that the last time I needed one, I paid $60 for the year, just for my wife. I didn't need it because I had something else. But yeah, come and see me if you have any questions. Bob?
I too can attest. I've used like GoodRx, which is crazy because I have really good insurance, but when you come up with a prescription that can actually be cheaper with a free discount plan than your copay, I might as well take it. Absolutely insane. But yes, it does work. So Ed's done all the research. You can talk to him. Rob wanted to come up.
I'm Rob Levine. I am the membership guy. I'm from New York. If you don't understand what I'm saying, there's another neighbor of mine from New York, Jack Schechter, who can interpret. Ron. I work alone. Ron thinks he's my ethnic man, okay? Johnny Carson's dead, Ron, okay? Now, what we've done here is amazing that through COVID, we have over 100 members of this club. We're not affiliated with a synagogue, but we have a group of dedicated guys. And I just wanted to point out just a couple of things that we do and that we've done that have given us, I don't know whether to call it visibility, good press. And we do have a PR guy who's not with us today, down in Florida enjoying the weather. But the first thing that jumps out, and Nelson was part of this, when the refugees came to the Joint Base, Dixon McGuire, we gave them hundreds of teddy bears. You figure that's all good press, right? How bad could it be? A guy gives, well, I'm the membership guy, and I'm the guy on the piece of paper with the phone number you can call. And people are saying, these kids don't have socks. They don't have shoes. What are you doing? And my answer is the standard pat answer that I give everyone when they question anything that we give to anyone is, we treat everyone like a South American country. They need a tractor, we give them a tractor. We don't give them money for the tractor, but we give them a tractor. So I was never apologetic about it, but the amazing part of this, and this is part two, is we run a law enforcement breakfast, used to be every March or April, right over here at Colamy across the street. It's a free breakfast for the 4 counties, surrounding counties, law enforcement, the DAs, and the police officers came to us because they were aware of the fact that we gave the Joint Military Base teddy bears and asked for some. They go, okay. They said, we go into these homes, especially during COVID, where there are tremendous issues with domestic violence. And they walk in and the kids are terrified, even if they're teenagers. And here's a way to comfort a kid. Girl or boy, you give them a teddy bear. And it's been so effective, and people have reached out so many times to thank us. Just 2 very, very quick things. Again, pointing to Nelson. How many flags? 3,500 flags?
It's about 3,000.
About 3,000. This place was just flags. The state police came, the local police came. We came as a group to put them in. And the feedback we got from this was just incredible. That we haven't forgotten what happened to us on September 11th. And then lastly, selfishly as a member, a guy here, I'm here from New York 6 years. I don't know a half a dozen people in my neighborhood. When we have shivas and funerals, we come out. The shivas, we wear our shirts, and the funerals, most guys wear sport coats with the shirts underneath. And that just happened to us just a couple of weeks ago with one of our longtime members, Bill Roth. And it's just an incredible way of supporting a guy, especially a guy like me, without a half a dozen people that I know. So it's such a worthwhile function that we do as a club. All of that is not trying to convince you to join. This is my retention speech. Now, my sales speech goes on for 45 minutes. But, Phil, I get what this means. I get what it means. You don't have to come up and go explain what it means. So thank you for all your support. And I hope you can be part of the things that we do, because there's no better feeling to ride by with your wife, your girlfriend, your lover, your kids, your grandkids, and say, see all those flags? Those are my guys. So, thank you.
Thank you, Rob. And you really do all deserve a round of applause. If you think about how many businesses, how many organizations, how many clubs closed down over COVID and never got going again, and we were able to meet all through COVID, and Ed certainly gets a ton of credit for holding that together and having a meeting every month. I don't think we missed a single month, even through COVID. We just moved to Zoom and now back to live, and hopefully never having to go to Zoom again, but we know that we can do it if we have to. So thank you all. Did any other board members want to come up and say anything?
Wait a minute. If the stand-up comics would like to come up here, you can give 3 minutes. We'll give you 3 minutes. I think we'd be remiss if we didn't give you a little bit of background, especially for the new members. Who is the South Jersey Men's Club? South Jersey Men's Club is a member of an international organization. Okay? It's the Federation of Jewish Men's Clubs, who have clubs in Canada, United States. I believe that there are clubs in and I could be wrong, I think they're in South America, there are clubs. So, and we're club number, I believe, what, 503? 502? Something like that. And we're part of what's known as the Mid-Atlantic region. And who's the Mid-Atlantic region? Mid-Atlantic region is made up of clubs from eastern Pennsylvania and southern New Jersey. Now, that's quite a number of clubs. And we have the distinction of having one more, let me explain what happens. Every other year, there's a national convention. And at the national convention, they give out awards for clubs for doing things, for programs, for things that are meaningful and that can be translated to other clubs. We have the distinction of having won more Torch Awards than any other club in the world. We usually would bring them with us, but Richie doesn't have enough room in his SUV to hold them all now.
I got 5 boxes of just awards. In fact, I used to bring them, but they're heavy. And we've always tried to have a place at the JCC where we can hang them, but that's another story. So, yeah, we have beautiful awards, yes.
And understand, these awards, they're because of what you guys do. We just sort of, we're like the conductors. We lead the orchestra. But it's the orchestra that makes the sound. And that's why we ask that when the opportunity arises, find something to participate in. We're not just a breakfast club. We want people to participate. Why? Because it's good for them and it's good for us. And if you're interested in possibly serving on a board as a board member, we'd be more than happy to have you twin with a board member so you can learn what the position does. And that help will always be appreciated. Does anybody have any questions about our operation here?
I just want to say one thing too. I'm past president of the board. So no one gets overworked. Don't be afraid to volunteer, because there's always someone here to help, to do. So any help you can get, you love, but you never overwork.
Well, thank you for your, yes.
Something, you mentioned the international convention.
Yes.
Next one is in Philadelphia
That's correct.
Right, the end of June, beginning of July.
Of 2023.
We are committed to be volunteers. We've been in the past, we pick up people from the airport, train station, so we already volunteered to do that. So and it's going to be at the Marriott Hotel.
Christmas. Coffee with Christmas.
So that's one of the things, if you're new or newer or visiting, if you're a member, we have an investment club that's been going on for how many years? A lot of years?
26.
26 years. And I believe we're still in the positive territory, which is good. But stick around if you are a member. Stick around after the main meeting for the investment club meeting. If you're interested in joining, stick around as well. Okay, I wanted to read. So Don Weisenstein, who's not here today, just wanted me to remind everybody that we are a nonprofit and we do have a mission. And I just want to go over a couple of bullets with the mission before I ask you, as a group or at each table, to just talk about what this sparks, if it sparks any conversation, or if it doesn't, think about how we can get more people involved, how we can get the people who are here more involved, how we can get younger people involved. But just a couple of bullet points from our mission. Number one, to enrich members' lives through programs and activities of Jewish interest. Number two, to serve the Jewish community. To provide knowledge and appreciation of Jewish culture. To stimulate social and cultural activities amongst its members and with the community in mind. To train leaders of the Jewish community. And finally, to foster camaraderie between the members. So, for the next 10 minutes or so, if each table could just sort of think about those and see if it's sparking anything with you. Is there something that you can think of to help us move our mission forward as a group? That's your assignment for the next little bit. Afterwards, if one person from each table could just tell us what you talked about, that would be fantastic.
I'm taking notes.
And we have a note taker as well. So I'm sure, we'll keep Abe busy in about 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes when we report. Any questions, comments, concerns?
Threats. I said threats.
Threats? Okay. I thought you said Tourette's, the way you just shouted that out. No? Okay. Talk amongst yourselves. Discussed. And how we as a club can move forward or continue moving forward. That would be great. Since Abe is taking notes, let's have his table start. Can you have somebody from your table come up? Somebody volunteer to come up and talk. You can talk. Yeah, anybody from the table. One person up. Come on up.
Because I was in charge to take the notes for every table, but I did this. The discussion was really concentrated on how to recruit new people. And the discussion is, do we want young people or not? And that's actually a critical question, because if you're young, you don't want to be here. So it's no sense recruiting if you're not going to come back. So that's a question that we have to think about. Because, we are turning into basically a retirement club, except him, and he doesn't work too hard. So again, that's a basic question. But in reality, we're getting new members. I think we have more members now than before the pandemic.
Absolutely.
So that might not be an issue. I think the way that we are growing is, basically if we recruit everybody in the 60, 65, between 60 and 65, you got 20 years to be in this club. So
Hopefully longer.
Yeah, hopefully longer. We'll buy more wheelchairs. The thing that I think, one thing that I think will be useful is the formalization of social events. For example, I belong to the Haddonfield 65 Club, and they've been around for 100 years. They have their own place, but they post, what the golf scores, bowling scores, pinochle scores. So it's much more formal than we have here. So the suggestion is that we form a committee to kind of start organizing a more organized kind of event, and you can choose which event you want to belong. So I mean, so that, I think that's been very successful in Haddonfield 65. And again, Haddonfield 65 is Haddonfield 65. You got to be 65 to join. So and it doesn't hurt their membership. So those are the two big points about it.
Same subject as A, recruitment, retention, etc. And I'll just summarize it real fast, and I won't take more than 30 seconds. You build it, they will come. At our table, we were talking about other ways to advertise the men's club. There's lots of possibilities in bulletin boards, electronic and hard copy in this building itself. We have to go outside this building, in my opinion, also, and everybody's opinion, and advertise what we do. Building the sukkah, that's important to show. The flags outside we mentioned previously. The things that give a lot of visibility and things that give us pleasure in actually telling the community that we do will attract new members. So again, build it and they will come. But other people have to know about it, other than just word of mouth. Thank you.
There's a priest, a rabbi, and we just had 9 bullet points. I'm just going to read them. Concerned about our average age. We don't compete with other synagogues, and we should pursue other synagogues' men's clubs, asking them to get their older members to join us. We surveyed our table, and as far as sons, we did not count daughters. The ages were between 50 and 56. Several guys thought that our targets should be our friends and relatives and not our children. Several guys with good marriages thought that it would be a good idea to include wives in more of our events. Someone else suggested that we go on tours. I suggested a book club, and it was wholeheartedly X'd out and not appropriate. And then someone had suggested a business mentoring program, but mentioned how difficult that is. And again, what Nelson had just mentioned, and Abe, is that we're looking for guys between the ages of 50 and 60. And those are our notes.
Thank you. Well, as being one of those guys between 50 and 60, I can tell you I'm glad to be here.
I'll echo the part about organizing trips. We've had some great ones in the past. I think the Battleship New Jersey, the National Museum of American Jewish History, and someone had mentioned that we even had a trip to Annapolis. I think the sky's the limit as to what kind of trips we can organize. The other thing is, I was very active in JAG for many years. I played on championships in softball, volleyball, bowling, and pinochle. Now we're down to just softball, and we need to do something to reinvigorate it. And I would like to throw out the idea of organizing a pickleball league. It's becoming very popular, and we have several members in this club, including myself, Larry Bernstein, and Gary Sternberg, who are pickleball players.
And you play here?
I have not yet played at this facility, but I would consider doing it.
Yeah, I know that they do have pickleball groups here, and court time is very, very hard to come by. Well, especially now that there is no court.
Well, I should also mention that I was very active in the Tour de Schules, which was a bike ride that we did for Camp Vermont for 5 years, where we would start at Temple Sinai, and there was talk about organizing a South Jersey ride. Some guys at Beth Tickville were thinking about doing it. So we could get guys together to do bike rides, and Dave Singer is here. He and I have done rides together.
Yeah.
So,
the idea, especially now that there are fewer COVID restrictions, doing group trips again, I'm all for it. We just need your ideas of where to go, and then we need volunteers to help organize. Thank you.
Our table echoed a lot of what was already said. We're looking for things to do together, activities. We talked about playing softball, and we looked around the table and we figured we didn't have a leg to stand on in more ways than one. We talked about some other things. Well, we sort of came up with an idea, maybe the men's club sponsoring like a Texas Hold'em tournament, once a month, once a quarter, bringing members here together, bringing their friends, something. We also, usually to those who haven't played, usually half the pot goes to a charity. So it's something, and there's all sorts of people play, and some are really good, and some just go out there and have fun and have a little food and such forth. But some committees maybe forming to get more engaged and more things to do. That was one of the things we came up with. Anything else we want to talk about from our group?
Also, contacting some of the men's clubs from the other synagogues that have either a competition or at least a once or twice a year event, such as as you do the athletic group. But if it was going to be a card tournament of some kind or anything else, so we have members who are members of men's clubs of different synagogues, or if we have people who are members of different shuls, then we would contact them through members who are already involved.
That's probably the easiest way for outreach. If you are a member of a synagogue men's group, to you be the liaison between South Jersey and your synagogue, your affiliated synagogue. Oh, what a great idea to get some level of interaction now. And our table, we talked about very much the same thing, infiltrating the synagogue men's clubs so that should the time come when people have kids that are bar mitzvahed, bat mitzvahed, they go through confirmation, and then there's some attrition away from the synagogues, we're still here to catch them. We don't want them to be without an opportunity for men's club involvement, but if they're no longer members of their synagogue, we're still here. So if they have the opportunity to know about us and interact with us beforehand, that might be a great in. So I just gave our table's report. Last table, come on up.
Talking about membership, I think we should all recognize the fact that a lot of us bring a friend. This table here, there are 7 of us sitting at this table, all because, and we have to recognize, Ronald Ettinger is responsible for all these people, including myself. I don't live in their development. These gentlemen all live in Montebello, but I've known Ron, and I'm bringing this up just to let you all know to bring a friend, to bring someone you know, and try to do what Ron did. And I think we should recognize the fact that it can be done because this entire table, plus, I don't know, others, are here because of Ronald Ettinger. So I wanted to bring that out. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It feels like one of those Oprah Winfrey episodes where everybody in the audience stands up because they're all related to the one person on the stage and they don't know it. So yes, thank you, Ron, for being an A+ recruiter.
Jack asked me if I'd get points.
Yeah, hey, bring your friend. Certainly sounds like a point-worthy venture. So yeah, throw that on there.
You had some pamphlets that were for the South Jersey Men's Club, and is it just members, as you see the one copy, just so that if you have a friend or neighbor who is appropriate, you have something to give it to them?
Sure. Rob, did we lose Rob already? We might have lost Rob. So yes, we do have flyers. Oh, he's back in the kitchen. We do have flyers here that are you feel free to take. If you want me to email you the PDF of them, you can just sort of keep that on your computer, print it out whenever you'd like. But we have nice color copies here. I'm happy to get you as many color copies as you want.
Yeah, I think that should be sent out to every member so that...
Great idea. Great idea. You know, I'm not a web guy, so if we can figure out how to put it on the website, I've got no problem with that.
Just send us an email.
But yeah, as an email attachment, we do have a PDF of that flyer. Fabulous meeting. I really appreciate everybody's input. Please think about becoming a board member, volunteering, and sharing your ideas on a regular basis. Bring friends. Do we have any good in welfare that we'd like to announce? Yes. Yeah. What happened? What happened good in your life, or less good that you'd like some support with?
We have two members who have just undergone surgery, Dave Schwartz. And if you're not familiar with Dave, Dave's the guy who gets all our speakers. So he is now post-shoulder replacement surgery. And Len Berman is the guy who sends out the mitzvah cards. And he is recovering from hip surgery. So we're slowly but surely rebuilding our guys.
That's right. We have a partly bionic club, and one day I too will be a member of that as well. And it's very interesting that I got to learn from Lenny that he had a surgery that I'm probably looking at in the not too distant future. And so talk amongst yourselves and see what you've already been through, and if you can share any advice and help somebody else in the process, that's a good thing. Anything else you'd like to share? Yeah, come on up. Yeah, make sure your envelopes are good and set.
I don't know if I ever announced at any of our meetings that I became a grandfather a year ago. And my grandson turned 1 on October 30th, so he's transitioned from infant to toddler. And yesterday he took 5 steps. He's getting there.
Very advanced. He must be a prodigy. Runs in the family. Well, Mazel Tov. Anybody else want to share? If not, have a fabulous Hanukkah, happy early Hanukkah, and happy and a healthy New Year if I don't see you at Coping with Christmas next Sunday. But I hope to see most of you then. If you're interested, again, please stick around for the Investment Club, which will be happening immediately after this meeting closes. That's it. Everybody, have a great day.